Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Please ignore my background. I have a toddler, so it's a little crazy, but I just wanted to do a recap of, if you should bring your baby to Universal Studios. Basically, the short answer is probably not. If you do, you definitely need to also go with grandparents like we did, because there is child swap. So I'm just gonna go over some of the features they did have that babies could potentially enjoy. I would say the biggest thing is to make sure you go prepared with a stroller and check the weather and everything. It is only for one day because you can only go in the Epic for one day. So there's that. The only ride, so my baby was 10 months when we went, 10, 11 months when we went. The only ride that she could go on was the carousel ride, which is really cool. It's a really cool take on a carousel. So I highly recommend going on it because it's just a really cool ride. So that's the only ride babies can go on. They also have a little splash pad. It's just water like going up, nothing like fancy or anything. So that was fun. They also have stations with fans that I really liked, and we stopped there a couple times just to make sure the baby is cool and everything. Also, go back and watch my video on what I packed because you definitely need to pack a good amount because everything is outside, even the lines and stuff. So it's really important to make sure that you bring rain gear, sun gear, like little stroller fans, things like that. Make sure the clothes are appropriate, and just one swimsuit is fine. But I definitely recommend that. So they also had child swap, which is really nice if you go with grandparents or something like that. I highly recommend going with, more than just the parents. Like also bring someone to go with you for the child swap. The rooms were not impressive, but at least they had rooms, and the rooms that I was in had AC. So that was good. It was a little chaotic because there's kids running around like all ages. But it was decent for what it is. So basically, someone would go on the ride and then go to the child room, swap, and the other person would go on the ride. And pretty much every ride had that. So that was really cool. The Mario World was really cool. It could be a little overstimulating for kids. It's just really bright and there's a lot going on, but it is really cool. It just depends on your kid, really. But my baby didn't really seem to mind it. So that's my favorite world. And then also the Dragons World. And I also do not recommend taking your baby to the Monster World just because it was scary for me. So I quickly walked in and quickly walked out. So that's another thing to think about, but all the other worlds are fine. There's Harry Potter World, Mario, Dragons, and Monster, and then in the middle is like stars, like celestial kind of, so it's kind of cool. So there's that too. And as far as like food and everything, we didn't really have a problem with that. With our baby, we went to like a sit-down restaurant, and that was really nice for dinner. And then for lunch, we went to Dragons, and we kind of just had a holder, so that was a little because it was like an outside kiosk, and we got the PB&J sandwich, which is really good. Definitely recommend getting that. And there wasn't anywhere really for her, so we kind of had a holder, keep her in the stroller. But you definitely want to bring like a cover for the stroller, like a rain cover, just because it's Orlando, it's Florida, it's gonna rain. So I highly recommend bringing that. And then also when I walked in, A worker did tell me that they had like a baby room so you can change them and feed them and things like that. I actually did not even go in it, which I planned to because I wanted to film it, but I didn't need to go in it. I was actually feeding in the bathroom, which isn't the best, but I would just change and feed there because the baby room they said was by Harry Potter. And so for all the other places, you know, I didn't want to keep going back to Harry Potter's to feed and change. So I would use like the family restroom. So that's what I did. But it is there. I did not check it out, unfortunately, but it's nice that they have that. And that's really all there is with baby stuff. So overall, I would not go just you and your spouse and your baby to Epic Universe. I would definitely bring like a friend, a family member, something, or someone who can stay with the baby and help out like throughout the day too, while you go ride rides together and things like that. And that's a big help. Or take turns carrying the baby if they don't like the stroller, because every baby is different with that. So that's something I highly recommend if you're going with a baby. Also be prepared. You don't need to be like overly prepared. It's just a day, but definitely be prepared with the right things. The main things we used while we were there, because as I said, I did make a packing video, but I didn't even use all that stuff. But bring the snacks that the baby likes so they can eat. I did see like a little baby there, but you rarely see babies there if you go. And then bring the cover for the stroller, like the rain cover, and a little rain jacket for your baby. Make sure there's like shading on the stroller, and bring a hat, bring sunscreen, one swimsuit maybe if you want to do the splash pad area. Bring a fan that goes on the stroller for sure. And those are the big things I can think. And of course, your everyday like diapers, wipes, things like that. But those are the big things that I recommend go when you go to Epic Universe with a baby. It was a fun experience and I had a good time. We were there all day long. So it wasn't really a lot with the baby because we were very prepared. So it was fun. Just make sure you do the things that I just said, because that will help you out a lot. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to support this channel, please subscribe. I appreciate it. Bye.